Good morning, I'm Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead. A quick reminder to subscribe to this channel below to receive alerts and daily market analysis videos. On the economic calendar for today, we have Bank of Canada rate news at 3 p.m. and UK and US news at 3:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectively. Currencies show continued weakening of the US dollar against the majors, whilst in the comms, oil gets the boost, but not so much gold and silver. Lastly, both the global indices and equities in focus show very clear intentions from the bulls to fight for their next rally. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Starting off with currencies, this is the US dollar index on a daily time frame, which is showing that we broke through that 96 level. We had been hovering around 97 for quite a while. We're now heading back down towards 95. So although there are it's relatively volatile, as in it's going down and heading up. So we've got a series of green, red bars. My expectation is still for it to find some resistance here close to 95.6, and then to head on down to test that 95 level. And so with that, it makes a lot of sense that euro dollar and GBP dollar will actually start to move on a little bit higher. You can see there's definitely some resistance here. Once price breaks through that, my expectation is to see it start to head on a little bit more freely, and that'll be the same for both the euro against the dollar as well as sterling. So sterling also stuck in its range as well, encountering resistance. So again, same thing there. I've taken CAD yen off my watch list for now. That's just not going to be setting up anytime soon. And then just keeping an eye today on euro yen as a potential swing entry, and if the trend is going to resume to the downside. Kiwi Swiss is still open in play, and not really much else of significance happening aside from some of the yen charts potentially setting up for swing trading opportunities, all along the same lines as euro yen. In the commodities on the move, and gold's weekly candle, this is a weekly time frame, forming a relatively nice decent rejection candle. I'm not looking to actually counter trend trade this. I'll be waiting for this to ideally break the low of this, potentially shorter term trades on the lower time frame, but basically looking for price to retrace back into a key level, and then looking for swing trading opportunities as it resumes its trend back up. It'll be the same actually with silver. I won't necessarily trade both of them. I'll be looking for the best setups, but also here you can see silver producing a good resistance candle so far. I'll need to see follow through next week by a break of the low. That's on the weekly time frame. Having a look at Brent is actually now sitting at that level and has not produced this is a support resistance level, so I was looking for a potential break of this previous candle as a swing entry short, but right now price is looking quite keen to cross back over that line, so potentially we're going to get a weekly retracement. I'll keep an eye on it, but this is my expectation for now, is to see price come back in towards that zone as well. Then palladium, one of the things that I wanted to one of the things that I like about this chart is if I go down to say the 4-hour time frame, there are some relatively decent entries on the lower time frames, starting the potential here for a retracement at this point back down into the moving averages. But otherwise, my approach is also going to be the same as with gold and silver. At some point I'm looking for price to come back and test that level. And then finally on the list here, sugar, I'm going to take sugar off my watch list. It hasn't set up. Basically, I was looking for price to come back into this level, and it looks as though it's going to head up to the next level of resistance. I'm not really liking this now as a shorting setup, so I'm going to remove that from the watch list today. So taking a look at the global indices, and without a doubt bullish across the board, strong uptrend now heading up towards 24,000 on the Wall Street. If we have a look at say US tech, so there's no need to really look at each one of them, all very bullish across the board. Just showing you here the bullish candle that's currently forming off a historical level of support with the US Tech 100, and it continues as we leave the US. It continues as we head east. So we can see here we've got the UK 100 heading towards 7,000. It's going to test that level again. So that's looking pretty good. If we do continue to break through that, we set up with a bullish candle, we might just get that rally after all. Just keeping in mind that, of course, there's a high probability. My expectation is to see although we, in the longer term, always continue up, I am also anticipating a continued volatility this year, similar to 2018. That's my outlook for now. However, I am still looking to see if we can head up higher 2019. So we'll see if we hit those levels of resistance. Here we've got DAX heading into its 11,000 level, so into those moving averages there, looking to see if we find resistance. And then also the one of interest that I thought you might like to see potentially is Hong Kong. This one, the Hang Seng actually starting to push through that level of resistance. It's been very strong in the past. but I'm thinking we're going to break through it now. Also, with that strong rejection candle off the same level, we've got very strong bullish divergence here as well, implying a change of trend is on the horizon in the near future. And finally, for today, looking at the equities in focus, this is Google, showing you the monthly calendar to give it a sense of perspective. Got a strong bullish candle forming off that level of support. If we have a look, so expecting that to finish bullishly and then likely to break the high of that next month. We'll see how that goes, but it's looking likely. Just showing you Apple here on a weekly time frame. Not much happening, very little action happening here, and it's got a lot of resistance in the way, but I do expect it to at least attempt to head up towards 170. There's just not a lot of action on it. On the other hand, compared to say Amazon is looking like taking off again. Very strong, very bullish candle off that level of support in the buy zone, and so this looking pretty good. It's going to attempt, we had this happen before in November, it looks as though it's going to attempt it again. So there are definitely bulls in the market, and Microsoft and Boston, very similar. Microsoft forming that strong bullish candle in the buy zone. Boston Science also just giving you a sense of that bullish candle here that's going to take another run. If it continues like this and closes this way, it's going to take another run at that 39 level. So great. And then just the two from my more bearish list, just showing Barclays and Lloyds Bank. None of these so far, none of the trends in my shorting list are looking that bearish, but a lot of them are doing weekly retracements. I'll be looking for them to approach resistance as well as the sell zone, which is that point of equilibrium between the 10 and 20 moving averages. And so both Barclays and Lloyds Bank, and actually Standard Chartered, are all very similar in their behavior, all doing these weekly retracements back into the moving averages. So I'll be looking for bearish candles here, either the end of this week Friday or next week Friday, looking for those as swing trading opportunities to potentially short them if they do resume those downtrends. And that's pretty much it for today. So, ladies and gents, I want to wish you a good one. If it's trending, I'll be there.
Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.